What if the food on your plate isn't what you think it is? What if big food companies have been lying to you, selling you fake ingredients, toxic chemicals, even products that could make you seriously ill? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the food industry's darkest secrets. From global scandals to everyday deceptions at your local grocery store, these are the top 10 shocking truths about the food industry. Prepare to be outraged. Number 10, gagging the whistleblowers. The industry will go to extreme lengths to keep its dirty laundry hidden. In multiple U.S. states, ag-gag laws were passed to criminalize anyone trying to expose what happens behind factory farm doors. Filming animal abuse or filthy conditions in slaughterhouses can literally land an undercover investigator in jail. Why would the industry push such laws? Because they know if you saw the cruelty and contamination in industrial farms, you'd be horrified. Instead of fixing problems, they silenced the messengers. It's a blatant tactic to keep consumers in the dark. The public deserves the truth about how our food is made, but Big Ag would rather punish whistleblowers and reporters than clean up their act. Number 9, the olive oil swindle. That extra virgin olive oil in your pantry might be a complete fraud. Olive oil is one of the most adulterated products on the planet. Authentic extra virgin is expensive to produce, so fraudsters dilute it with cheap oils or low-quality lampante oil, lamp oil, and sell it as the premium stuff. Studies have found that a huge portion of extra virgin olive oil isn't what it claims. In one analysis, less than 10% of world olive oil production actually met extra virgin standards, yet up to 50% of retail olive oil was labeled extra virgin. In other words, there's a good chance that fancy bottle you bought is anything but extra. Even official fraud tests have caught many imposters. A quarter of olive oil samples tested in Spain and nearly a third in Canada failed authenticity tests. This is big business for organized crime in some countries. The Italian mafia's agri-mafia has made billions flooding the market with fake olive oil. Just recently, authorities busted a crime ring that adulterated over 260,000 liters of olive oil with cheap oils. The deception runs deep. You think you're eating heart-healthy olive oil, but you could be guzzling seed oil garbage. Number 8, not-so-pure honey. Honey is another natural product that's often a sticky lie. Authentic honey is costly and bees can only make so much, so scammers found a workaround: cheap sugar syrup. Large volumes of honey on the market, especially imported honey, have been secretly cut with corn syrup, rice syrup, or other sugar syrups to increase profits. The label says 100% honey, but you might be pouring pancake syrup on your toast without knowing it. In fact, honey is one of the most adulterated foods in the world. Government tests confirm this fraud. In recent years, about 13–14% of honey samples in Canada and Europe were found to contain added sweeteners. And the U.S. is awash in imported honey. Over 70% of honey sold in America is imported, much of it from regions notorious for honey fraud. The FDA's own testing in 2021 caught about 1 in 10 imported honey samples with unlabeled added syrups. Think about that. Roughly 10% of foreign honey shipments were basically fake. Number 7. Mystery meat, the horse meat scandal. In 2013, Europe was rocked by a huge food industry scandal. Horse meat being passed off as beef in everything from burgers to frozen lasagna. Consumers were horrified to learn that when they thought they were eating beef, a portion was actually horse. Ireland's Food Safety Authority ran DNA tests and found that over 1/3 of beef burgers on supermarket shelves contained horse meat. Some were 100% horse. Even more products, over 85%, contained other undeclared meats like pork. Number 6. Fraud at sea, fishy lies. If you love seafood, brace yourself. There's a good chance the fish you ordered isn't the fish you're actually eating. Seafood mislabeling is rampant. Cheap fish are regularly swapped in for expensive species, robbing consumers and sometimes exposing them to health risks. Think you're getting wild-caught grouper or snapper? It could be farmed tilapia. Ordered white tuna sushi? You might be served escalar, a fish nicknamed the X-lax fish because it can cause gastrointestinal distress. Oceana, a marine conservation group, conducted DNA tests on fish from restaurants and markets across the U.S., and the results were scandalous. 1 in 5 fish samples nationwide was mislabeled. Number 5. Banned chemicals in your food. Did you know American food companies use ingredients that are outright banned in other countries for being dangerous? The U.S. food industry, through lobbying and loopholes, keeps using certain additives and chemicals that Europe and other nations have said no way to. It's a shocking truth. Foods legally sold in the US contain additives considered too hazardous to use elsewhere. Number 4. The sugar cover-up. The sugar industry literally paid scientists to lie about sugar's dangers. Back in the 1960s, as research began linking high sugar intake to heart disease, the Sugar Association secretly funded Harvard researchers to publish papers downplaying sugar's role and instead pinning the blame entirely on saturated fat. This misinformation shaped dietary guidelines for decades. Number 3. Forever chemicals in your food wrappers. Many fast food wrappers, takeout containers, and even paper plates are treated with PFAS, the notorious forever chemicals. These substances have been linked to cancer, immune system harm, and hormone disruption, yet they've been widely used in food packaging. Recent tests found PFAS in over half of food packaging samples, even from brands claiming to be PFAS-free. Number 2. Poison for profit. Companies have knowingly sold food contaminated with deadly substances to avoid financial losses. The most infamous case, China's melamine milk scandal, where a dairy company added plastic chemicals to milk powder to fake protein levels. The result? Over 300,000 babies sickened and 6 infants dead. Number 1. Toxic metals in baby food. Major baby food brands have been exposing babies to dangerous levels of heavy metals for years. A 2021 U.S. congressional report revealed that baby foods contained alarmingly high levels of lead, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury. These neurotoxic metals can permanently damage a child's brain, yet major companies continued selling the products even after internal tests confirmed high contamination. Closing. These 10 examples are just the tip of the iceberg. The food industry's history is riddled with deception, greed, and scandal. The next time you sit down for a meal, you might wonder, what don't I know about what I'm eating? One thing is clear. The truth in the food industry is rarely appetizing.